And iPhone manufacturer FoxConn and automaker Fiat Chrysler are planning to launch a joint venture to build electric cars in China. While no deal has been officially made, FCA confirmed on Friday that they are in talks with Honghai, the parent company of FoxConn, for the creation of a 50-50 joint venture to develop next-generation battery-powered electric vehicles with a focus on the Chinese market. Now, Fiat Chrysler will deal with manufacturing the vehicles, while Foxconn will work on the electronics and software included in the cars. Now, FCA recently merged with Peugeot maker PSA to become the world's fourth largest auto alliance. And joining us now to discuss what this means for the future of EVs and a bevy of other auto-related news is the car coach, Lauren Fix. Lauren, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me back.
Of course. And now a couple of quick ones on this FCA Foxconn joint venture. It's interesting to see the traditional tech manufacturers moving into vehicle design. In fact, last week at CES in Las Vegas, we saw Sony unveil the Vision S concept car with a focus on tech and entertainment options inside. Now, there are no plans on selling this vehicle, but it was a good opportunity to show off the tech that they can put in a vehicle. So why are we seeing tech companies getting into autos?
Well, you see, actually, it's really a smart idea. Look at Apple. They've been developing a long time. It's called the Titan Project. They were going to build a car as well. Building cars is a very expensive venture. The profit margins are not what they would be like they are in tech. So typically, they won't build exactly a vehicle, but they'll use that tech and partner in with someone else, which is what's so smart about this Foxconn deal. They build the iPhone. They know how to build technology. If they take that same, maybe this has to do something with the Titan Project, that we don't know yet, but if you take that technology and you put it into a known manufacturer like Fiat Chrysler, now that it's going to merge with PSA, you now have a global car platform that needs this interface. And Foxconn is saying it's going to be up to 10% of their revenues. That's huge, and that should cause their stock to boom as well.
Now, we just reported Thursday that Tesla is also looking at creating a design facility in China after launching their Shanghai manufacturing facility. Why are we seeing this big push into the Chinese market? Is it about the subsidies provided for the EVs, or is it just about pushing into one of the world's largest auto markets?
Well, the world's largest auto market, you're correct, is China, and their electric vehicle segment is the largest. It had an increase of about 6%. But keep in mind, overall, there's a lot more cars there, a lot more people than there are here in the U.S. Opening up a Chinese research and design facility is very smart because their cars and their needs are completely different than that of the United States and other places of the world. Now, because he's in such a unique situation that he's new and he's getting these subsidies, it's a great opportunity. But keep in mind, sales for Chinese cars are down dramatically, and they have been month over month, and that could be an impact and a negative factor. And the other factor to consider is the subsidy is going away. They're hoping in China that because they have this quota for these clean vehicles, that this is going to be how they're going to fill that void.
Well, and I do have a question about your answer there, because with Tesla being kind of a niche manufacturer, they're smaller than like the big guys, obviously, than even the FCA alliance that we're talking about here. So is it a good move for them to kind of focus so much on the Chinese market when they're still really trying to roll it out to the rest of the world?
Well, you have to try and get as much money, cash flow as you can. If you're losing your subsidy, which is completely gone here in the U.S. as far as Tesla is concerned, you have to figure out how am I going to make up that money? Well, there's a subsidy that's going to him in China. That plus he's got a relationship with the Chinese government. Try to access the largest market, get as much cash flow. Try to own a battery factory so you can control that. And he's also building a battery location that's going to be in Germany so he can cover Europe. So he's at least trying some unique strategies to try and build it. He's building it like a tech company and not like a car company. So we'll see what happens. The stock is high right now, but I have a feeling since some of the NHTSA research is going on to some of the accidents and deaths that have happened, we might see a dip in his stock individually. But overall, anyone who wants to succeed in the Chinese car market, you better be offering an EV or you're not going to be able to sell vehicles.
And now, sticking with Tesla and EVs, the National Highway Safety Administration announced Friday that they would review a petition that asked the agency to investigate the 500,000 Teslas over reports of unintended acceleration. So what's going on here? Does this cause concern for Tesla?
They've had a lot of problems. Sometimes it's the Autopilot program. There's been 127 complaints, 110 crashes, and 52 deaths. I'm sorry, 52 injuries. Let me correct that. There's been some deaths as well. And because of that, NHTSA, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, is investigating. There have been continual probes. But the first problem they don't like is the use of the word autopilot, which is semi sort of autonomy, but really is what they call level 3. It's available in a lot of vehicles: forward collision warning, cross traffic alert, a lot of these safety features, and even the ProPilot 360, which Ford has, is pretty much the same thing. It's lane centering. Unfortunately, consumers think that it means I can fall asleep behind the wheel, I can eat a sandwich, and totally keep their hands off the wheel, and that's where we're having some problems. Now, also, there is some software glitches that are causing cars that are completely stopped to start up and move, cars that to unintentionally accelerate when they're in parking conditions, whether they're parallel parking or pulling into a garage, and because of that high quantity of incidences, they're looking at 500,000 vehicles.
Well, it's interesting, Lauren, too, because when you talk about that autopilot and they don't really anticipate you doing that, again, at CES last week, I mean, we saw a bevy of cars out there that were actually intended for that, for entertainment purposes, for turn this into your home office while you're auto driving. Now, obviously, again, those aren't going to hit the road anytime soon, but that's kind of the way they're looking at in the next 20 years or so. Lauren Fix, the car coach, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.